Here I am. Hey, y'all. Welcome back to my channel, Reading Escape with Nina. Before we get started, please like, comment, share, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified. So, as you can see, I am covered here with my mini, I'm going to say mini, Stephen King collection. Um, some of these I read, some of them I haven't yet, but I wanted to just show you guys what I have in my library that's all Stephen King and go over each and every one of these. This one's going to be a long video. Get a snack, sit back, let's talk. All right. I am going to start with, they're in no particular order. I say that, but then I did sort of save my favorite one for last, and y'all already know what it is before I even get into it. Um, but I do have my notes. I gotta have my notes, and I'm just gonna quickly go through them because, like I said, it's probably gonna be a long video, and you guys know I love editing, and I know it's probably gonna take me some time to get through it, but I just wanted to share it with you guys. So first, we're gonna start with this pile. This pile here. All right, we have. I know why I'm crazy because I'm not grabbing from the top, and the reason why is because I have the bigger ones on the bottom, and I just stacked them up. Um, the first one I have here, hope you guys can see that, is Bag of Bones. And this one was published this was published September 22nd, 1998. The genre is horror, thriller, paranormal. Goodreads gave this one a 3.92 stars. Is a haunted love story. That's what it says on the back. I am just going to give, with all of these, I'm just going to read a quick synopsis from them just so you have an idea of what they're about. I have not read this one yet. So it says the most gripping and unforgettable table novel, Bag of Bones, is a story of grief and lost loves, enduring bonds of a new love haunted by secrets of the past and of an innocent child caught in the crossfires. It continues on, but like I said, I'm not gonna hold you guys up by reading all of that to you. But it, when I did a little research on this a while ago, when I first got the book and I was curious about it, it was giving like it's about a writer who lost his wife, and I think he goes out to this cabin and try to get some type of inspiration for writing, and he's being haunted by her ghost of some sort. But I'm interested in reading it. Like I said, it was kind of like at the bottom of my list to read. So that's that one. That one, okay. Moving on to the next, Stephen King, Billy Summers. I guess I don't have to say Stephen King if I'm clearly saying this is Stephen King collection. This is Billy Summers. I have not read this one. It was published August 3rd, 2021. Genre fiction, horror, crime, and Goodreads gave this a 4.19 stars. It says Billy Summers is a man in a room with a gun. He's a killer for hire and the best in the business. But he'll do the job only if the target is truly bad. So if he's only a truly bad guy. And now Billy wants out. First, there is one last hit. Billy is among the best snipers in the world and a decorated Iraqi war vet. When it comes to vanish, he's I'm sorry, in a Iraq. Why can't I get that right? A decorated Iraq war vet. So, what could possibly go wrong? How about everything? So, I'm thinking, like it said, he used to be a hitman. He wants out of the game, but something comes up and tries to bring him back in. And I think he's going to get all caught up in that. So, like I said, interested in reading that one. The next one I have here is Holly. I like the cover on this one. I think it's nice. I have not read this one. Published September 5th, 2023. Horror, mystery, crime. and 4.08 on Goodreads. It says Holly Gibney, one of Stephen King's most compelling, resourceful characters, return in this thrilling novel to solve the gruesome truth behind multiple disappearances in a Midwestern town. Okay, I want to give this a read. It's giving it like crime mystery type vibes. So yeah, I'm interested in this. I haven't read any of the other novels he have with this character in it, but it seems that he thinks quite a bit of this character he wrote. This is a direct quote from Stephen King at the back of this book. I could never let Holly Gibney go. She was supposed to be a walk on character in Mr. Mercedes, and she just stole the book and stole my heart. Holly is all her, Stephen King. So he thinks a lot of this character. I don't know. I'll give it a try, see what I think. Next, I have this. This one was gifted to me years ago. I didn't really have any interest in reading it. I still haven't read it. It's called Blaze. It was published under the pseudonym Richard Bachman. Stephen King often used that name a lot when he first started publishing books. This was published in June 12th, 2007. It's another horror crime thriller with a 3.77 stars on Goodreads. Let's see. I feel like this one is about, let's see, the Gerards are filthy rich and the last twig on the family tree um, that is worth millions. There's only one problem. By the time the deal goes down, the brains of the partnership is dead. Or is he? Now Blaze is running into the teeth of a howling storm, and the cops are closing in. He's got a baby as a hostage, and the crime of the century just turned into a race against time and the white hail of the Maine woods. I think it might be interesting. Um, Hopefully, with the way that Stephen King writes, it gives a good atmospheric vibe to it. Next, we have Doctor Sleep. This one is a sequel to The Shining. I haven't read The Shining, but I've seen the movie plenty of times. I enjoy the movie. For some reason, I have no interest in wanting to read The Shining, but I've seen a lot of good reviews about it, and I felt like, well, what's the need of reading Doctor Sleep if I don't even have The Shining yet? And this was gifted to me, by the way, for Mother's Day. All right, one I'm going to talk about is Everything's Eventual 1408. This is a collection of short stories. Let's see. Yeah, I really couldn't get too much information on this one when I was researching. I just know it's a collection of short stories and published in 2002. It didn't even give a specific date for it. I haven't read this one because I'm not really interested in short stories. This was another gift to me. I'm not really interested in the short stories. I rather read a nice long Stephen King book, but still in my collection. All right, so that's that pile. Okay, next we are moving on to this little section here, and we are going to talk about. Ooh, so many books, y'all. I just love it. We are going to talk about Cujo. Cujo. Yes, I absolutely do have two copies. Yes, I don't mind when I like a cover and it's Stephen King and I love it and it's a classic. I'm gonna buy multiple covers. I think every so often authors like republish their books with different covers, and I just love it. Um, so Cujo, published in 1981. Psychological horror about a dog that caught rabies and started going crazy and killing everybody, basically. 4.25 on Goodreads, and it's obviously a horror. Um, there's a movie adaptation for this. I really love the movie. Really good. And I have not read the book on this yet, but I'm looking forward to it. It's definitely next. I have a few. I want to read Needful Things. I'm reading Under the Dome now. I want to get Needful Things done, and then I'm going to start breaking into Cujo. So yep, that's what it's about. So it's fun. It's in the dog that is a Saint Bernard, which is naturally, I think, a pretty loving dog, and he took it and made it really scary. So that's what makes the movie even scarier. So that's that. Next is one of my favorites. I don't talk about it enough because I talk about 11/22/63 so much, but this is also up there on the same tier as 11/22/63 to me, and it is Pet Cemetery. Yes, I have two covers. Yep. So if you notice the covers, so these covers were released at the same time. This Cujo and Pet Cemetery. So they have kind of similar images on them. Um, so yes, I love Pet Cemetery. I've always been a fan of Pet Cemetery. Uh, I read the book last year and fell in love with this in a different way. Um, it's a story. Well, let me give you some details about it at first. It's a horror and paranormal. It was published in 11/14/1983, and it's a 4.08 stars on Goodreads. I absolutely love this. So watching it as a teen and a young adult, it was scary because little Gage, he was scary, and hearing about the dead coming back is always scary. But reading this later on as a mom, I realized how it's so heavy on grief. And if you're really going through something and you're currently grieving, this may not be a book that you want to read just yet. Um, just the things that this family had to go through, losing their child. There was also some great, I had annotated this one the same way I did another book that I was reading. Um, which book was that? Oh, yeah, Salem's Lot. Yeah, so I annotated this one as well. I mean, there were definitely some good points in this one. Sorry about that. I had to cut it off because my dog was going crazy and I didn't want it to interrupt us. But what I was saying is with Pet Cemetery, I also had some annotations in this one as well because there were a couple of lines in it that I really enjoyed. Um, it's been a while since I looked at them. But yeah, I might do a separate video on this, talking about this in more detail. I think it's really worth it. And especially with the annotations I got, I would really like to share it with you guys. So I will do a separate video on Pet Cemetery. Definitely top of my list is one of absolute favorites. I would read this again, no problems. I loved it. Next, we have The Long Walk. This one was published January 1st, 1987. It's horror splatterpunk. This was also under the pseudonym Richard Bachman, and this got a 4.29 stars on Goodreads. Let's see, this one. Oh, and you know what? I think this year they are releasing some type of either a series or movie adaptation for this one. And I'm interested in seeing it, but I want to read the book first. Basically, just going by memory. I'm gonna try to go by memory here without reading. It's about teenagers being able to sign up to take this long walk for money. They're basically doing it for money to help their families, but they have to walk 4 miles in an hour, and if they fall behind, they're shot down by the army. Well, I don't know, by the military. Um, they if they fall behind, they're shot and killed. And I think that's where the splatterpunk part comes in. If they it's other rules and stipulations around it, but they're literally walking until there's only one of them left. So that's the rule. So no matter how long that takes, so that's a lot of walking. And I heard, and I just from looking at comments about people who read this, from people who read this book, they were just saying how they could feel how tiring and grueling these boys were when they were doing this walk. So I'm excited about this one too. This was also on my list to read soon. Next, I have 1922. This is a short story. It's a horror thriller, published November 9th, 2010. This is about, let me see how many pages. It was really short. I think I read it in like a day. 127 pages. Um, really good read, a little scary, a little creepy. It says Wilfred James. So the year of 1922, Wilfred James owns 80 acres of farmland in Nebraska that has been in his family for generations. His wife Arlette owns an adjoining 100 acres. She wants to sell her land, but if she does, he will be forced to sell his as well. James will do anything to hold on to this farm, and his son is willing to assist. Together, they commit a gruesome crime in order to keep the family homestead intact. Soon after, supernatural terrors began to afflict father and son, as well as their land. Is this just a coincidence or something more disturbing at work? Brutal murder, madness, and rats. That's that's what this is about. Did you hear me clearly when I said rats? Very descriptive, very detailed, very scary, y'all. This is creepy. This is extremely scary. I wish I could just tell you. I don't know. I might do a spoiler video on this one. I enjoyed it. There's also a movie on Netflix about this, and it really gets into that whole rat thing. Okay. Next, I have The Mist. This is The Mist. There's a movie for this. The book was released 8/29 August 29th, 1980. It's fantasy horror. It's 3.94 on Goodreads. Like I was saying, there is a movie for this, and if I'm being honest, I can't believe I'm gonna say this. I like the movie better than the book. I know that's weird. The book just didn't grab me like I thought that it would. I like the storyline. It's about let's see. You have this people in a town is in Maine, like most of his books are taking place, and they're going about their regular day, and all of a sudden, it's taking place in like a grocery store, and all of a sudden it's this mist and people they start seeing blood on the windows and seeing people laying down dead in the parking lot and just trying to figure out what's going on. And then anytime somebody leaves the store, they just hear screaming, and all of a sudden they're dead. So that's where the myths come in. And basically, they're trapped in the store and they're trying to just hunker down and try to see if help is going to come. Um, it doesn't. And so they try to band together and see if they can go out and fight whatever this thing is. It turns out it's a huge alien of some sort. Um, like I said, I like the storyline. It gives like post apocalyptic vibes with a little supernatural. The movie was great. The ending was crazy. Every time I watch the movie, I'm hoping the ending will change, knowing that it won't. Um, but yeah, the book was okay. I just really enjoyed watching the movie, if I'm gonna be honest with you. Next, we already did a thorough review on this one. You guys know I really enjoyed Salem's Lot a lot. Um, this was published October 17th, 1975. This is horror, vampires, fantasy, supernatural, a whole bunch of fun all in one. 4.12, I'm sorry, 4.1 stars on Goodreads. For me, I give it a 5. I really enjoyed it. Um, enjoyed the creepy town, the vibes, the classic scary real vampires in it, not the pretty vampires like Edward Cullen. Although I love Edward Cullen, but I like how he just made it scary, and it was just a great story. I would advise anybody to read it. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Salem's Lot. Okay. All right. Oh, this is my hardcover for Salem's Lot. Remember, I don't mind buying two when I really like it, and honestly, when I like the covers. So yeah, this is my hardcover for Salem's Lot. I am going to talk about Needful Things. This is new. It was gifted from a friend. He knows I was very happy to receive it. Um, this was published in October 1st, 1991. It's a horror thriller supernatural. Goodreads gave it a 3.98 stars. It says the town of Castle Rock, Maine has seen its fair share of oddities over the years, but nothing as peculiar as the little Cheerio shop that's just opened for business here. Its mysterious proprietor, Leland Gaunt, seems to have something for everyone out on display at Needful Things. Interesting items that run the gamut from worthless to priceless. Nothing has a price tag in this place, but everything is certainly for sale. The heart's desire for any resident of Castle Rock can easily be found among the curiosities in exchange for a little bit of money and, at specific request of Leland, a whole lot of menace against their fellow neighbors. Everyone in town seems willing to make a deal at Needful Things, but the devil is in the details, and no one takes heed of the little sign hanging from the wall. This is gonna be interesting. I cannot wait to dig into this one. If I feel like it's, what are people trying to buy? What are they going through to give up of themselves just to buy something from this shop? I think Stephen King is gonna, with his writing style, is gonna take something like this and just really make it great. Next, I have It. Now I know, well, I guess it may seem like I gave it a low rating, but it was absolutely a great book. Um, Story was great. The writing was beautiful. Like I said, I felt like though it was so descriptive at times that I would gasp out loud or I would just say ew out loud because when Pennywise would come around, there would just be this putrid smell and, just the he was actually pretty gross at times. So I think the writing for this one was excellent. I gave it a 3 stars because there's a scene at the end that I thought was not necessary and it involved kids. I'm not going to use the word on here because it might get flagged, but it involved kids and I just didn't like it. So I gave it a 3 stars, but I can understand why this would be a lot of people's top Stephen King book. I totally understand it. Um, Also, what I notice about Stephen King is he uses the N word quite often in his books. And I don't think or I don't, I never looked at him as like being a racist or anything. I think that sometimes it's just depending on when the book was published. Sometimes it can be back in the day. I don't know, but it was heavily used in this one in one particular chapter. And I remember thinking to myself, you know what? If I hear that word one more time, I can't. I don't know if I'm gonna keep going. And it finally ended, and I'm just like, oh, so that's why I give it 3 stars. Other than that, it could easily be a 4.5 for me. So yeah, I noticed that about King. A lot of people say that about him. It's not going to stop me from reading his work. I think his writing is beautiful. He also used other words too that people may find offensive as well, but I do overall enjoy the stories. So yeah, that is it. Next, I have The Stand. Oh, this one's heavy, y'all. We've talked about this one. 2 copies. Yep, I do. This is the collector's edition with the gold edges, and you got the bookmark in it. I had to get it. I had to get it, y'all. Look at that. I had to get it. It was worth it. I don't care what anybody says. This is a beautiful, awesome story. You hear me? Look, I was thinking about this every single day I was reading it. Like when I wasn't reading it, I was like, oh God, I wonder what the characters are doing. It was almost like they were freaking real. I'm thinking about them like I know them. Um, and I know I had a comment on I think it was my dad because he read this and he just didn't he wasn't feeling it. He told me that early on. And at first I was like, God, I don't know, I might not want to read it, but I read it and loved it. That's why reading is so subjective. That's why you should give something a chance despite what somebody says. Because I read it and I absolutely love it. And he was right when he said it's like anticlimactic. I mean, yeah, it is kind of like, mainstream, but there are some events in it that happen that can get you a little excited. But I just enjoyed the character so much. I just wanted to know what was happening with them. So thoroughly enjoyed The Stand. This is at the top of my list. All right, put this right here. And last but certainly not least, you know it, 11/22/63. This was published November 8th, 2011. It's historical fiction. It's sci-fi. It's time travel. It's love story. It's beautiful. It's scary. It's sad. It's everything wrapped in one, y'all. I just get this freaking book up. I just love it. Um, my review on this actually convinced my sister to go get it. I think this might be her first Stephen King read. I'm so excited. I'm actually jealous that she's reading it for the first time, fresh mind, don't know what's happening. I wish I could erase it from my mind so I can read it again. Guys, I read this twice. I read it first, just reading the book, and then I got the audio book and I would just listen to it like when I was cleaning the house or doing other things because I missed it so much. I needed more. And if you are an audiobook person, this audiobook is absolutely beautiful. And Craig Wason narrated it. He's phenomenal. He is Jake Epping, the one of the main characters in this book, also known as George Amberson. He has two names in this book. You'll find out why. Um, he is Jake. He is George. It was just beautifully, beautifully written. I enjoyed it. It's one of my favorites, if not the favorite. So yeah, that's. I've done a lot of talking. I think that is all of the books I'm going to cover. Yep, that's my whole collection. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I think next I'm going to do um, my TBR list, which might be a little scary. I don't know. But you guys have a good night. Thanks. Bye.